Hey guys, this is Divyansh. Welcome to a tour of my bookshelf. There are four more stacks over there. Um, I'm just gonna take you through a collection one by one. Um, it's not gonna take that much time. We're just gonna rummage past a few books and discuss a few fun facts about my favorite books on my bookshelf. First up is the collection of classics. I've got a lot. I've got Alexander Dumas and Charles Dickens' two works in a single book. Oliver Twist and Great Expectations. Um, Again, A Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens, one of the best English novelists ever of all time. The Gangs of New York by Herbert Ashbury, the one of the inspirations behind Gangs of Bombay, which was my second novel and my favorite work so far. Um, One of the inspirations is this, apart from The Godfather and the TV show Peaky Blinders. Um, Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility. The works of William Shakespeare, Volume 1. I found this at a book sale in a very unknown part of Bombay. It's quite a good work. I think someone donated this book from England in the 1980s or something like that. It has a newspaper clipping from that era which I found. So fun treasure. I could date it back to around 1980s or 1970s, something like that. Someone was into betting into horse races. So Tale of Two Cities, Christmas Carols. I've got a Tale of Two Cities twice. The first one was my mom's from her college days, and I found this one on my own. Charles Dickens, again, one of my favorite authors. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The Hounds of the Baskervilles. One of my most favorite novels of all time, and definitely one of the most favorite works of Sherlock Holmes out there. So there's that. The Picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde again. Pretty small book. I read this one traveling back and forth in Mumbai locals. Tales of Mystery and Terror, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle again. We have four books into one, four classics in one. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Iconic play. Couldn't understand half of it back when I read it. It's been a while. And Sherlock Holmes complete works. Next up, collection of Indian authors in my library. I'm gonna just pick out these two first. 5 Point Sermon by Mr. Chetan Bhagat and Till the Last Breath by Durjoy Datta. This one I bought when I was in school and I relegated to the bottom part of my library now. This one was a gift by some friend. He is obviously not a friend anymore. I'm just kidding. Anyway, next up, The Rosabelle Line, Ashwin Sanghi. Ashwin Sanghi is one of my favorite conspiracy fiction authors in India. Sita by Amish Tripathi. The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. Beautiful novel. Do read it. Son of Ikshwaku, Amish Tripathi. The Krishna Key, Ashwin Sanghi. Secret of the Himalayan Treasure by yours truly. This is the very first copy which I got of Secret of the Himalayan Treasure. It almost got destroyed in the Bombay rain. I had to come back to my hometown due to the corona situation, and there was some kind of leakage at my apartment where my books were. It is a bit of a mess, but it survived the leakage. It wasn't destroyed. It's the very first copy with a nice tiki applied by my mom. It's for good luck. Anyway, we have Keepers of the Kal Chakra by Ashwin Sanghi again, and I have it autographed. I think it was this one. Yeah, he autographed me. I met him. We both were speaking at the same TEDx talk in Delhi at IIFT, and I was the first one to just barge into a room after his TED talk was over, and I got a signed copy, and I had a fun interaction with him. Another copy of my own book. Then we have The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. If you're reading this, keep a dictionary beside you. You are gonna need it. Um, the Book of Comfort, Little Book of Comfort by Ruskin Bond, and it's such a good read. Whenever you're feeling down, it's a book of quotes. Very small book. You can finish it in like half an hour, but some really awesome pearls of wisdom by Mr. Ruskin Bond himself. Next up, Ravan by Amish Tripathi. I did not read it. I think I'm over that phase of the Amish phenomenon. The books kind of started feeling repetitive after I read Sita, so I don't know. I bought Ravan at the airport, but I never got to it. I might just dive into it later. The Oath of the Vayupatras, Amish Tripathi. I have all the books except for the Mortals of Malua. Some relative came to my home, checked it out, picked it, and went away with it. He never returned that book. And Kiran Desai, The Inheritance of Loss, again, a very good book. So this is all I have in my Indian author collections. Next up is a collection of non-fiction, and non-fiction is something that I'm not really that much into it. I prefer to read most of non-fiction on my Kindle, which is out of power, and there are 100, 200 more books on my Kindle device right now, apart from all this. So just gonna dive right into it. The Maeve Binchy Writers Club, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the highest selling non-fiction books of all time. Stephen R. Covey. I have read it. Good book. Think and Grow Rich, again, one of the highest selling non-fiction books of all time. It was kind of feel good book, but I'm not sure whether it's really gonna help me or not. Anyway, to each his own. How to Influence and Influence People. Good book, really good book. The Secret. Close your eyes, meditate, call the universe, the ideas, or whatever you want will come to you. Law of Attraction. I'm not a big fan of Law of Attraction. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I was totally against it. Now I've been like, I don't know whether it works or not. If it works, Law of Attraction, there are a lot of things that I'm demanding right now from the universe. I hope it arrives. You Can Win, Shiv Khera, again, one of the highest selling non-fiction books in India. Character, on innovation, I've got Robin Sharma, Mega Living. I love reading Robin Sharma's books. His books are really cool. And Bling by Malcolm Gladwell. The next 1, 2, 3 big rows are just English authors, English fiction authors, and this is my favorite category, so that's why 3 huge chunks. I think there are about 50 novels in just these 3. I've got like 100 more on my Kindle device, so I just love reading fiction, English fiction, from English authors especially. So starting with Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin, Dan Brown, Inferno. I think this is the time when the Dan Brown effect kind of started fading out because things were very repetitive. The Da Vinci Code, one of my favorite books and a prime influence behind Secret of the Himalayan Treasure. Sharpe's Havoc, Bernard Cornwell. I've got a lot of his works. Captain's Duty, it's the story of Richard Phillips, Captain Phillips, amazing movie starring Tom Hanks. Heresy by J. Paris. Then I've got Viking by Swan. But I love reading lots of books, lots of historical fiction with some amazing battle scenes because I love writing battle scenes and I'm constantly craving for them. So every kind of battle involving swords and spears and it's just fun. 2 armies clashing, going against each other. I love writing battle scenes. The Gladiator again. Roman history. I love reading history. I love reading history back in school, and I just consume history like anything. Even on Quora, it's one of my favorite categories. I don't write much on history, but I consume a lot of it. The Quest of the Missing Map, the very first novel which I read in my life, and because of this, you have all of these and the Kindle and everything, and the books. I started writing maybe because of this. So like it was a treasure hunt, The Quest of the Missing Map, Nancy Drew book, and my first book, Secret of the Himalayan Treasure, again a treasure hunt, maybe because of that. So I cherish it. It was a summer read given in probably 8th standard, and after I read this, I was confident enough that I can read novels, and then I started reading all of these. So really close to my heart. Um, we have like 4-in-1 collection of fiction, The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Sun, Khalid Hosseini, beautiful novels, heartbreaking. I wish I could write something like this at some point. Um, the Melted Coins, Hardy Boys, again one of the first novels which I read. Then Clive Cussler, Spartan Gold, and I've got Bernard Cornwell, Sharpe's Siege. Again, this was the first row. We have got to go through these 2 more rows now, so I'll just switch to that. Switched to row number 2, and before I move on, I just found something else. The Melted Coins by Hardy Boys. If you could see the name, it's written as Divya Mundra, which was my original name. I got it changed to Divyansh for obvious reasons, because people spelled it as Divya, and I was teased a lot back in school. Divya Mundra. I love that name though. Anyway, Angels and Demons, I think we were done with this one. Or I have 2 copies of this, I'm not so sure. We were done with the other one. So Angels and Demons, it's my favorite Dan Brown novel. Crown of Aloes, we have Ian Rankin, Noughts and Crosses. Alexander, The Sands of Ammon. I don't think I have read this one. I might. The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. Haven't read this one either. I think I've read like 60 or 70% of the books which are here. Vespasian, Tribune of Rome. Haven't read this either. A lot of historical fiction novels that I want to dive in right now. I haven't been reading as much lately. Should. Jan Martel, Life of Pi, one of my favorite novels. It's so good, so philosophical, and such an easy read. Definitely recommend it. Or you could just watch the movie. Movie was equally awesome. The Shakespeare Secret, Girl on Train, Paula Hawkins. Again, amazing thriller. Are you reading The Third Antichrist? It's a very, very thick book. It was a very fun book. A Book of Days. I started it. I did not finish it. It's a book about crusades. I think the very first crusade or the second one. And the dude's and sister fought in the crusade. He wrote some letters and he founded some French dude and he wrote this book. I think I'm going to continue this one again. The Knights of Villamure, and this one. It is one of my most favorite books, The Luminaries by Lenore Catton. It won the Man Booker in 2013, I think. It's one of the thickest books in my collection. This is 800 pages of pure awesomeness. I think I've read this just once, and it's an amazing book. It's very slow. It takes time to build up. The first chapter is I think 200 or 250 page long. That's the first chapter, but it's one of my most favorite books. My brother gifted it to me back when I was really into reading, and I devoured it in like 15 or 20 days. Do check it out, The Luminaries. It's one of the best books that I've read. It's one of my favorites. New Zealand author Eleanor Catton. Anyway, I think we are done with row number 2, and the big one is left now, so let's just dive at that. Alright, the last one. Can you see it is tall? It is really tall. Alright, I hope I haven't disturbed setup. Oh fuck. Yeah, we're done with it. I think so. Alright. King Arthur. Lovely story, love the tale, did not like the movie as much, love the video game. Bernard Cornwell again, I've got 2 or 3 of his continuously. Terran by Christian Cameron. You can see there are lots of historical fiction books which are centered around wars or epics or myths, and I love these stories. I've loved them ever since I started reading books back in school, and just fun. The Murder of King Tut, Egyptian History, James Patterson, I love Egyptian history, and it's about the murder of King Tutankhamun. Not proven whether he was actually murdered or not, but if you are into Egyptian history, you would know that there's been a lot of controversy about it, about his tomb, about the manner in which he died. There were like CT scans performed, Nat Geo covered it. It's like a really big documentary about it. This book is just fiction. I'm not so sure. Spoilers. It says that he was murdered. It's written in the title, The Murder of King Tut. Okay, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Let's curse it. All the Potter fans here, let's just curse it. It's a play. I don't know why I bought it. It sucked. Honestly, it sucked. Paulo Coelho, Witch of Portobello. Trudy Canavan, Priestess of the White. Secret of the Code. The Cow of Isis. Again, Egyptian history. Coningleton, Empire of Silver. Genghis Khan and his descendants and the battles and everything. Again, very amazing historical fiction book. Dan Brown, Origin. The latest one by the maestro himself. There is a very big debate whether Dan Brown, like people in the West, the literati of the West, they think Dan Brown is like cheap, and the Indians think Dan Brown is like God when it comes to fiction. Just from the point of view of storytelling, some really good crime, some really good thrillers which he have written, and I'll make another video about my opinion on Dan Brown. I really like this guy. Umberto Eco, Bodino. Again, I think he's South American, Peruvian author, and I'm not so sure about Peruvian though. But The Name of the Rose is, I think it was, if I remember it correctly, I read it a long time ago in my school library. It was a brilliant work, and that made him famous. And yeah, I think I've got a few more though. It's gonna become a very long video. Leviathan, I haven't read this one. Robin Young, Insurrection, again historical fiction. And James Patterson, Private, New York, Los Angeles, London, Paris, Murders and Secrets. I think that's about it. That's the grand collection which I have in my awesome little library. I will show you my Kindle, but they're like, I think about 200 or 300 odd books in there. Even I've lost count. Lots of non-fiction works because they're easy to breeze past while you're reading them on Kindle. I've got the entire Lord of the Rings saga, the entire Harry Potter series, the entire Game of Thrones series, Dragon Tattoo, there are lots of things on my Kindle. I will show it once, but I think it's a long video and I should just shut my mouth up. So this was a little tour of my book collection. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.